Hi guys, this is a quickie to show you what I bumped into at Home Depot. You won't believe. So the first one is more of my kind of normal find. This is heavy, new growth, in sheath. Okay, let me show you her tag. And like I said, if you haven't watched my videos on little tips and tricks to buy bag babies, okay, I'll say it again, don't guide yourself by the picture on the bag. They only have in general, basically any splash two-tone Cattleya, they'll put a picture similar to that, and it might not be that picture of the actual orchid at all. You need to pull out this tag, and this tag will tell you this is a cross. Okay, I believe it's Cattleya Gila or Gila Wilderness cross with RLC, which is Rhyncholalia Cattleya Memoria Anna Balmoris. Now I have an Anna Balmoris just by itself, and it's supposed to be a white with some kind of flaring and then maybe yellow labellum. Now I'm going to put in the picture when I googled of what this looks like. This is going to be gorgeous. Look at also the health. Let me quickly try to open this with one hand. It's not the easiest. I should have taken them out. Hold on. Okay, so here she is. I hope you can see. Okay, I showed you the tag, but look at what I see here. I definitely see a lot of green roots. I see multiple new growths. I even see a sheath that seems to have a shadow. Now, when you go on the website, look at another new growth right back here. This is amazing. Does this look like a plant that's 2 years from blooming? No. Well, on the website, if you look at the website, these bag babies can bloom, it says 18 to 24 months. In my case, I have seen them bloom in about 6 months from when I purchased them. Now, you can also get the date from the tag. This one is February 14th, 2022. So we are in the latter part of 2024. So it has been around and about for pretty much the amount of time that Better Grow claims that they will take to bloom. So let me tell you something. This looks like it's going to bloom. We're going to follow it. I'm going to hold off. Hopefully I can. Hold off. It is October. It is not a good time for repotting. Even though I see a lot of green roots, I am going to hold off. And I'm not going to take her out of here because I want to see what happens in those sheaths and if she's actually going to bloom. I'm probably just going to pot her, leave her there, but put her in another pot to stabilize, because everything in plastic usually will fall over. So I'm going to just put her so that she's stable, and I will follow her in this same pot and see what happens. All right, so the second one is pretty much the reason that I caved and I said, okay, I'm just gonna buy a couple bag babies today, even though it's a couple days from the RF show. So I'm gonna put the flyer in. I put it in other videos. The show at RF, Robert Fuchs Nursery down in Homestead, is coming up this weekend. It's starting on Friday, then it'll go on Saturday and Sunday. So the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. And you don't want to miss it, and I don't get anything by letting you guys know. I want to pass the word along just in case you don't know. So I'll be there. I'm not sure when, but this I couldn't leave behind. This is a species. This is a Brassavola nodosa. It says species on it, cucullata. Look at that. So here you have the basic one. It doesn't look like this. This is the basic one that pretty much everybody has. I think I have 2 or 3 of these, and they're great. They're wonderful. They're AKA Lady of the Night. They smell in the evening, and the smell is delicious. But this is special. I will put a picture. Reminds me a little bit of the ghost orchid. I know It's not the same exactly, but you know what? It's that different shaped flower. I'm going to put a picture so you guys can see from Google, but I couldn't leave this behind. I could not leave this behind. Brassavola, anything with Brassavola grows really well for me. And this is pretty big. I don't know what I'm going to do with her yet. I don't know if I'm going to mount her. I don't know if I'm going to pot her, but this is pretty big. These, look how long these are. These were coming out of the bag, and for a split second, I said, what? Did these people, did a customer, a dishonest customer, that's what I thought. Did a dishonest customer take this bag baby home, switch her out for some, I don't know, something else that's not really an orchid, and put her back in the bag? Because I have seen that happen. And then I said, wait a minute, look at this tag. And I looked it up, and yes, in fact, the Brassavola cuculata looks like this, and this one's big and healthy, and it's all mine. So guys, those are my two little accidental haul orchids that I wasn't supposed to get, because in a couple of days I will be at the RF show trying to control myself there. So that's it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have this, okay, especially, and let me know how you grow it. Give me some tips. Let me know which one you think is a better deal. The very big, luscious, a lot of new growth cat, or my Brassavola species. I'm so excited. So if you're not a believer in Better Grow, try it. There's so much fun in going out to the different, that's at least for me, going out to the different Home Depots and just checking out what they have and bumping into something that may be on your wish list. And no, you're not getting it for $50 at a show. You're getting it for $17 at the hardware store. So that's always a great deal. If it doesn't survive, if you lose it, you're only in it for 17. Is it $17.90? It's 18. It's really 18, but not bad. And they have a good return policy. One time I got a what was it? Was it a den? I don't know what it was. I think it was a den, and it pretty much didn't do well. And that happens sometimes. You're not going to buy an orchid and it's always going to be awesome. And I have bought orchids from a lot of places. I've lost a lot of orchids, but one time I got one from Home Depot and it just melted. I have no other word for it. It was smelling, and it, like, basically it had some kind of rot. Something was going on. I didn't see it at first, and maybe like a week later I'm like, what? So I took it back with my receipt, and they very happily gave me a credit back so that I can get something else. So don't be afraid to go to Home Depot. And I don't get anything from Better Grow. Maybe one day I will, hint if anybody's listening, but maybe one day I will, because I sometimes don't stop talking about my bag babies and how good they're doing and how good they're blooming and what a good buy it can be. This doesn't mean that I don't support small businesses. Those are my number ones. Those are actual families that you meet and see. But every now and then, when you can't get out to a show, this is my strategy. Every now and then, when you have, the itch to go out and just check out what they have, you may bump into a species. And they also had another one that looked like a novelty fowl. I was like, what? But I didn't take it because I wasn't going to leave with 3 or 4. I was going to control myself and just leave with 2. And there was another thing that I wanted. They had Vandas. That were I think there were only 29 for big Vandas in bloom with fragrance. Yeah, I almost went a little crazy at that Home Depot. A lot of people ask me which Home Depot. Well, I cannot reveal my sources, because if I do, then I don't have anything to find. You understand? So I know you guys understand. Anyway, I hope you like and subscribe and share my videos with anybody who's interested in plants. Maybe there are plenty of people and they're not into orchids yet. It'll happen. And I'm going to let you go with a beautiful bloom, because why not? And to tell you that coming up, you're going to have a video that is my revamping of my outdoor pergola area. So I have revamped the area. I'll give you a tiny little sneak peek, but it's tiny. So you're gonna look quickly and then look away. Woo! That's it. That's all you get for now. But I'm gonna give you a detailed tour coming up soon. And I leave you with this bloom because it is absolutely gorgeous. It is from Brethren's. I'll tell you her name first. RBY, Copper Queen. So that's a cross between Toshi Aoki and Richard Mueller, of course, because look at those spots. Look at those sunset colors. This is beautiful. This is blooming for the second time for me this year. And she is spectacular. And if you don't recognize the receptacle, this is a Roxy pot. This is a Roxy pot, and the sun is going down. So Orchids 365 and Brethren. And look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Let me turn it so you can get it in the light. Look, 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 look. Look, 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 look. Yes. So like, subscribe, share with others, please. And I know there's something new coming on that you hyped the video. Yes, I would love for you to try and do that if you haven't done it yet. Thank you. And please make time for the things you love. So guys, this is going to be a continuation to the video of the two finds that I found at Home Depot unexpectedly. I said I wasn't going to take it out of the pot. I took it out of the pot and I found this piece of cork. I have two pieces and I put it on there very simply with a zip tie, put some Spanish moss just so it could look nice. The roots weren't that bad, but just as I suspected, when you get your bag babies, sometimes right in the center there is a ball of moss. So that's always my fear when I leave them in the pots, that there's going to be moss in there. And inside the orchid pergola, even though it has the plastic corrugated rooftop, water still gets in, a lot of moisture, a lot of humidity, and with that moss it doesn't help. So this is the kind of roots I ended up with. Not bad, but a lot of new growths, and I'm kind of happy I took her out of there and I mounted her on cork, and we are going to follow her. This is the Wilderness RLC Anna Balmores. And I have another Anna Balmores that I bought bare roots, and I think it's doing great, so we'll see what happens. She looks like she's almost blooming size, almost blooming time. I see sheaths and all that, so maybe this is her practice round. We will see, and I'll let you know what happens. So the next little project is on my cuculata. I got this from actually Home Depot. It's a Better Grow selection, white species, Better Grow, and my idea, since I saw a couple videos on her, these leaves tend to be heavy and then they kind of fall over to the side. So this is my idea. I was gonna mount her, but I don't have a mount. Hint, hint, Ken at the Orchid Supply Store. Hint, hint. So if I was thinking of mounting her, but I don't have a mount. So the second option I think would look good for this type of Rosavala would be one of these baskets, also from Ken, or this one, also from Ken. This is a plastic, they call it a hydroponics, something like that. Something hydroponics basket. I think it goes in aquariums or whatever, but it goes great for orchids. So yes, I was gonna do a mounting, but yeah, I don't have the right size. I have to save that for something else that I got from Ophi's, and I'm gonna attempt to put her in one of these 3 receptacles to see where she looks best in. I wasn't gonna take her out, but she's not in bloom. She's not about to be in bloom. I am dying to see what's in there because I've never gotten a species Rosavala type from Home Depot. So it's worth a try to see how it looks like, and let's see what I decide to do. Okay, so I've taken her out of the wrapping. I put my little card with my other little cards. I have like 3 or 4 of those all ready What do I keep it for? Who knows? Who knows? It's like a little trophy case with all my better grow back babies. So she doesn't look bad. She doesn't look bad. I do see, dun, 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 moss. A lot of moss. So I am gonna take her out of here. Oh, look, she came right out. All right, so choice number 1, easy peasy. But I don't know about all that moss. Choice number 2 would be to take off the moss and add some bark. And I'm thinking I might go with, I'm thinking that this basket would be best. But I am going to remove some of the moss, and I am going to integrate at least 50% bark, because I don't like so much moss in my environment. It doesn't work out well. I have root rot situations when that happens. Even when that doesn't happen, even with bark, sometimes root rot is something common here in Miami, Florida, when you have a lot of humidity, and that's what I have here. So seeing as how this moss is coming out fairly easily, then I think I'm gonna work on it very carefully. Maybe mix it in with my Orchids bark, just a little, to keep it light and fluffy. It's definitely more compacted than I want it to be. So I'm gonna take some more moss off and go get my bark and see how I situate her here in this very airy basket. By the way, if you want any of these supplies, this, or the Orchids bark that I use, you can contact Ken at the Orchid Supply Store. He'll give you a discount with my name code, Melissa. You'll get 12% off. He'll also ship it to you for free if you're in the US. So think about that. If you have any questions, you can also ask him about other supplies that he has. He has pots and plants as well, other orchids. Okay, so I'll be right back and I'll show you what I'm going to do with her. So guys, exactly what I thought. Where there was a lot of clumps of moss and no airflow, I see some root rot. So I'm going to have to cut off some root, at least the root tips. I'm going to spray this with Physan, just as a prevention, just in case. And I am going to supplement with the Orchids bark from the Orchid Supply Store. The big pieces of styrofoam, always good for aeration, and some non-organic media at the bottom of your pots is always a good idea. So this is only what I'm going to cut, things that look like this. If it looks like this, I'll be cutting it off. And again, I'm going to try to get to the center, carefully remove the large clumps of moss, because they're going to be staying way wet, more wet than you want them to be. Okay. So I started to add the bark and realized very quickly there are 2 small pieces and it comes right out. So I had to be resourceful, use the little baggies that come with the mesh that comes with the Better Grow Back babies, and that way all the media is not going to come out. So I'm going to situate her in here, adding layers of Orchids and moss, and I will show you how she looks in the end. Okay, she is pretty much done. I almost made like a little swing, and no, you can't tell, but there's Orchids, then a layer of moss, not too squished in there. It's very light and fluffy, and then the other layer of Orchids. Oh my goodness, I had too much coffee, guys. So anyways, I know someone's asking, what's the reason for the moss? You never put moss. Okay, so she came in all moss, so it tells me that she has been used to that kind of situation, okay, for a while. So I don't want to shock her. She's going to be shocked anyway, but I'm going to try to lessen the shock by adding some of the original potting moss that she was already in. I was going to switch it out, but I said this one doesn't look good and doesn't look bad. you know, if you see moss that has more or less the original color, okay, but it's wet, it's okay. If it's starting to blacken and disintegrate, then you know that's probably too acidic and it's probably time for changing. But if not, then sometimes there's no reason to change it. This time I thought I could leave that same moss, give her some of the same environment that she was in. Okay, that's it. I still have the styrofoam at the bottom. Now I also bought from Home Depot these hangers, and I'm gonna choose the shorter one because there's 2 in there, and I'm gonna hang her up. I'm gonna find a spot here in the orchid pergola and hang her up. She's gonna get a lot of sun, and hopefully will one day bloom for me. We will soon see. So have you ever tried to put one of these hangers and then you put one and then the other side is uneven, and then you put the other one and it all seems uneven? So I'll show you a little trick. You take them all and you bend them all together. Very hard to do with one hand. All right, you get the idea. You bend them all together. That way they're even, Steven, and you can easily put them in the holes and hang them and they won't be uneven. You bend them all together. So there you have it. There is your finished, potted up Brassavola cucullata. Okay, she's in a basket from Orchid Supply Store with orchiata bark, a little layer of sphagnum moss, and I chose the shorter hanger because these hang down anyways. They don't go straight up and they won't be interfering with, you know, the top of the hanger. So I thought if they're gonna come down anyway, I was gonna have the shorter hanger, and yeah, I'm gonna hang her somewhere in the orchid pergola and we will follow her along until she blooms, because I know she's gonna bloom. Okay guys, here we have project number 3. I am definitely on a roll. So this is one of the big cats that I bought from the IAS show, International Aroid Show. So I mounted her. See, the blooms were on the way out. They're on the way out. They're almost done. One of them already fell. So I thought, okay, let me check to see what's in here. And I had some nice roots. I am not putting moss anymore because I'm traumatized from the last time I did that. The moss caused rotting, or at least I think it caused rotting because of a lot of rain. So the most I'm going to put, just for looks and a little tiny bit of moisture since I took them out of their pots, is some Spanish moss. At any time I can take off this Spanish moss and it's not completely on there like I had the moss before. So it's kind of like I learned my lesson. And yeah, so I'm either going to be adding that, or maybe I'll add some natural cocoa fiber from my palm tree. And that's about all I'm going to do when I mount, okay? Because what I've noticed is that some of them, the ones that have a little bit too much moss, immediately they start to turn black. I'll show you an example. So this moss that I have here, it's turning black. So I constantly have to come over here and kind of like clean it off and hope that it doesn't cause rot, and hope not to disturb the roots. But this is what I'm constantly doing because I'm paranoid that too much moss is causing the roots to get rotten, and I hate that. Like this one I wrapped in a ball of moss, so I'm crossing my fingers. This new one that I just did, no moss, a little bit of Spanish moss just for looking pretty and a tiny bit of retention of moisture. But that's it. That's the most that I'm going to do when I mount. Okay, I'm not going to build a bed of moss. I'm not going to put another, comforter of moss on top. I'm just going to add a little bit of the Spanish, and that's it. So all that is needed, I already took my drill, I made the holes, and she's just simply on with a zip tie. Oops, sorry. A zip tie. That's it. A zip tie. She is on there firmly. She is not going to move. She's going to have that stability that orchids like. and that's it. Maybe wash her up a little bit more in the under leaves, and I'm going to find a spot here under the orchid pergola where she is going to live and hopefully bloom for me one more time. Now, thank you to that subscriber, that viewer that gave me the possible name. I think it had what was it? Lin Chin China, something like that. So I'm gonna look it up and see if that is in fact what the flower looks like. Okay, and then if I feel confident, I will make a tag for her. But yeah, you guys know what you're talking about. So this is the flower on the way out. If you have an idea, a different idea, share it with me, because this one came without a tag. Okay. All right. Project number, what is this? 3 or 4? I am doing really good. By the way, this is a day off for us teachers. It's a teacher planning day. So I got all my planning done, and now I'm doing the planting, working in the garden. So, which is a lot of wellness for me. That is so relaxing when I come out into the pergola, do work, get my hands dirty, and just be in touch with nature. So make time for the things you like, guys, and the things you love.